Hello and welcome along. My name is Eddie and this is my vlog. And today is September the 30th. And we're currently backing up the 7R here because we're looking to hook this up. Which of course is our seeder, as our Amazon seeder. Because we're going to be doing some winter wheat seeding today. We've got, so I know last time, now this might come as a surprise to you guys, because I know that last time we were not going to do this. We were planning on, oh, there's my seeds. We were planning to do, to leave the wheat fields fallow for this year. And plant them next year, and I've been going back and forth, and I sat down over the last couple of days since our last, still last night, because the last vlog was yesterday, and decided to see if there was a better way of doing things. There we go. That's all filled up. And discovered that yes, there actually is. So I've fiddled around with our crop rotation a bit and come up with a better solution. And what it actually means is that we're going to be seeding this field. So I've been out this morning and got this cultivated because I want to get this in. And because our corn isn't quite ready yet. It's, as I said, it's ripe, but we're still not dry enough, and yeah, we're expecting. I'm going to try and get this field done and dusted with our wheat today, and then with that done, I should be in a position where I'm able to. We're able to actually have everything planted this year, and actually end up with a pretty good yield from all of it as well. So I'm going to try and set myself a GPS on here too. If I am, want to make sure that I'm at the right angle here, which I'm not sure I am. No, we're not. We want to be about here-ish, I think. Right, and down. Yeah. I've set my first point. We're going across the field. There we go. Now that I don't think is as straight as I wanted it to be. Oh, and I haven't finished setting my points. There we go. Right, let's see if this works. I don't think that's worked. I think that's. I think I'm going to reset my points on the second one. I'm unhappy with that. So yeah, I need to explain really what's going on. So the issue we had, and the reason why we were looking at having to leave stuff fallow, was because we were at a point where let's get that right. Okay. GPS is telling me that I need to go further along the field. I don't want to. So let's try this again. And there we go. There we are. That has created it and done it well. That's good. That should give us enough space to move about. And I can get back to what I was telling you. Basically, we are in a position where what we had was the wheat and the barley following each other. in our rotation plan. And what that would do is, without leaving a fallow field between those two, we would have a problem. So what I've done is I've rejigged it. We're now doing the corn after the barley, which doesn't affect the output of the corn. It means that we end up with a... I hope that's a good width. I'm going to find out on this in a minute. It basically meant that means that we end up with a with not having to take that bit of time to do that, to leave that fallow. We put fields 16 and 17 are going to be corn next year. And we're going to get the corn in as early as we can, as soon as in our planting season. Field 18 will now be our winter canola. So we're going to put our winter canola crop in there in the next few weeks. And this one, field 38, this is now wheat, as you can see. And then the corn will be followed by sunflowers. That means our canola is followed by barley, and so field 15 will get seeded in the new year. Does mean that all the work we did yesterday was fairly pointless insofar as cultivating field 16 and 17. Neither of those fields are going to be actually planted now until the middle of next year. So yeah. It's a bit of a weird one like that. We are in a position where I want to be careful. I want to go right up to the edge here. The less headland I have to leave, the better. And we've got the space at the top end of the field to do that. But it's yeah, it means that we've sort of had to scramble and rework. I'm just glad that I've been busy and got all of my fields fertilized. Because I wanted plenty of time for the slurry to soak in and do good in the soil. So we'd actually fertilized this field, and of course we've also fertilized 16, 17, 15, 16, 17, and 18 as well. So we're good. I mean, as far as things go, we're actually really good on here. It is just this corn. That we've got to get up, and I am a little bit nervous about putting corn in again next year. I think we could do better just by buying pig feed in and putting in a more profitable crop in that. But yeah, it's one of those things where old habits die hard, and I like being self-sufficient. And but the corn over here is just really taxing us at the moment, and having a spell dry enough to harvest it before the end of the season, that is really difficult. But as you can see, we are doing okay. We are nothing if not adaptable, and this should improve things for us quite considerably over time. It is just that that whole thing of, well, our second biggest field. In fact, 17 and 16 together, because we tend to treat them as two fields. Those two fields together, that is quite a thing to be putting down to corn next year. I mean, it would have happened in the other rotation anyway. And the advantage of it is that we're at least putting crop into it rather than leaving it fallow. But at the same time, it does leave me just that little bit nervous. A bit like driving along here and to the top of this. So we should be okay. If I can avoid going into the river. Always a little bit of worry when doing this field. I did say I was considering seeding this field slightly differently next year, but again, old habits die hard, and I'm quite happy to seed it this way. Short rows do make for more easily emptying when I'm combining. So, yeah, not the end of the world. Coming up to the edge. It's coming up to the edge, and they're not driving. Avoiding the trees, but not driving into what we've seeded. That's the trick here. Don't want to really compact the ground once I've seeded it. There we go, and away we go. There we are. Right, so I'm going to continue getting this seeded for a bit, and we'll come back in a little while because yeah, I want to. We need to get this field in. We're going to have to do some headland down this far side here, but otherwise, I think we're going to be all good. So I'm heading back towards, well, I'm heading back towards the river at the moment, but the next row, we're going to have to turn around, I think, and head into the yard. I didn't realise I was quite so low on fuel in this tractor when I started this job. So we're just going to go and fill this up quickly. We are, as you can see, we're a little low on funds at the moment. But we, of course, do have a lot of stuff in our storage at the moment ready to be sold in the next couple of months. So that's our low cash flow issue. Is going to resolve itself fairly soon. We've got a really good amount of crops this year. Right, let's turn off our seeder because we need to head down here and round to our fuel tank. Oh, let's get this open. There we go. Right, turn her off, go put the hose in and refill her, there we go. And it's how much, we may, I'm hoping we've got more money than we have got fuel, or than we need fuel. But it's going to be a close run thing. This is the trouble. There we go. Well, we're out of cash officially. We're not quite full on fuel. But we'll be okay. We're fortunate in that we get a regular income from the horses, so they're fine. Our money will go up overnight as a result, and yeah, we get yeah, it's the end of the month, so we get paid soon for the horses, so that's good news. And it means we can keep the tractors running, and this is actually part of the reason why we took on the livery. Because it was, we had the field, we needed the income, and so it made sense, you know, keep a couple of horses here, keep the farm ticking over, keep fueling the tractors, which is, you know, massively important, and just keep us going. Of course, we've also had the whole thing of taking delivery of the seeds for this year and things like that, so it's, yeah. It's been important that we have the horses about, and they've made a big difference to the farm this year. A really big difference to the farm this year. Kept us properly afloat, kept us properly going, and yeah. And of course, the other thing we've got as well is we've got this year's pigs are just about ready for sale as well. We run, as I said before, we run a farrow to finish job here, and that is that tends to be good when we do a load of sales. Oh, come on, and we go. Doing a cracking job. This is. We'll have our winter wheat in. We'll be well prepared for next season, or for next year. and just be working brilliantly. It's one of those. Today is one of those vlogs where I wanted to cover more than anything this change to our crop rotation. And don't have a lot more to say than that because we're going round doing this. So I'm gonna go back to it again. So our new crop rotation on the farm is basically goes wheat, and I've got to remember this: wheat to canola to corn, corn to barley to sunflowers, and sunflowers to wheat. And that rotation means that we don't have any fallow fields, and we also end up with a bonus to the yield to every crop except for the corn. Which might seem a bad thing because the corn, is something. Well, it's the major thing we need to feed the pigs. But we've got a big field of corn that we're doing next year. Corn is always that crop that we're worried about failing each year. So I don't want. I'm not too worried about a lower yield crop failing comparing to a high yield. All our crops we have, we can actually we can sell for more than it would cost us to buy the equivalent in pig food, which is why I consider very much consider dropping the corn, because corn, if you're doing silage from corn here in Ireland, then it works well. If you're doing corn for harvesting, not so much, and we do battle it every single year as to whether we should continue doing corn, and we'd probably be better off not doing it, to be honest, and doing something then like switching out our corn header for a dedicated sunflower header, and doing that instead. But I want to give it one more year. I want to give it a try and see if we can actually get the corn to work. I think if we plant it early enough and we have a good growing season, that will be fine. It is one of those things that would cause us. It's a cause for concern on the farm, really. The corn just doesn't take out here as well it does. But being a pig farmer, we kind of want to be self-sufficient, and doing the corn makes us self-sufficient. If there's ever a shortage of pig food or anything like that, I want to be in a position where I kind of go, well, I don't have to buy it. Or the other thing is, if I'm ever in a shortage of cash, then I don't have to go out and buy pig food. So it's, yeah. There we go. And if the crop fails, then we can always go out and buy. But again, it's a minefield. It's an absolute minefield to try and work out what the best way for us to work around here, as is evidenced by the fact that I've just redone my entire crop rotation to best fit what we have, because we've had to. We've the one we had isn't going to work, wasn't working. We needed to look at a better option than what we did. And it is a better option. It's one that is going to be best for the farm. And if we decide that we want to drop the corn from it, it actually will be just as well. It will work. It will work just as well. So yeah, it's all changed around here, and as far as that goes, and as a result, we're looking at being a more profitable farm because of it. This farm is, it's interesting. This farm has never done quite as well as I think I'd hoped. It's compared to coming from Ballincraig was a success to a level that I had never expected. Once we got out of my the hole that my grandfather had found himself in, and yeah, to be able to purchase all of that back again has been great. We've not had quite the same luck here. You know, I would like to expand the farm. I have got my eye on land the other side of the river. It's which at the moment is meadowland, but I think being a sort of floodplain area, that is some very fertile land over there. Field 31, I think, is a really fertile bit of land from what I can see, and would make a great addition. It would be again, it would be a big field on the farm. It would allow us to expand nicely, and I think it would make a good. I think certainly the top half of it. It raises out of the water quite nicely. It's less prone to flooding than this field is, and yeah, I think would be a pretty good place for us to expand into. If we could get hold of it, but it is, yeah, it is a field that I'm kind of going. Oh, I'd like to get hold of that. Can I get hold of it? No, we've not made the money to do it, and I'm very iffy about funneling money from the other farm to support this one. This farm needs to be self-sufficient. This farm needs to not drag the other one down. Otherwise, we'll find ourselves in the same hole on both farms. And end up having to sell this just because it's not profitable. And this farm can be profitable. This farm can make a lot of money. But it's just making sure it does. And making sure we get there. More than anything. And you know, this is our third year farming this farm. We didn't vlog the second year. We did vlog the first, and I felt that we were in a better position to come back here and vlog for our third year. And I think it is getting better. It is improving. We are making money. We have made improvements to this farm, and I think we'll continue to. But it is a big job getting this farm back. This farm, of course, was just sold off. And when we bought it, we ended up having to buy some of the fields separately, if I remember. And the pig operation here had just fallen apart. And I'm beginning to understand why they had a little bit of trouble with it. It is that you have to buy in more stuff, but we will make this profitable. I vow to make this farm profitable. We are doing well on this field, though. We are working our way through, and I think I'm gonna work on it a little bit more. There we go. And we'll see where we are in a bit. I think I'll come back when we get into the longer bit down the bottom, because at the moment we're getting into the really fiddly bit, and yeah, needs a little bit more concentration. So fiddliest bit around the pig slurry pit, that is now sorted. And I'm now the field is beginning to open up a bit again. I think I've talked about how my plans for the farm have changed a little bit in what we're going to be doing come early spring, where we're going to be where we originally were going to build some new farm buildings and change the land and come right down to the water's edge with the farm. I've actually decided against that. It opens us up a little bit too much to flooding, although the land here is pretty flat. It still affords us a little bit of leeway, whereas if we go right up to the end, then we're going to be in a bit of trouble. The Eurotunnel will disappear when we come to do that. We are going to take that down. We're going to then move all of the bales into a new dedicated, more permanent structure for the hay stuff. Something that fits in a bit more with the rest of our barns around here. And yeah, we're going to concrete over most of that yard area there, and that's going to become sort of our main yard area. And we might do a bit of concreting around this side as well, for where we store our implements. I want to have a look at my implement storage as well, because it's at the moment it's, yeah, I think we could possibly put another lean-to in over the other side, and we might look at doing that because we have not all of our implements are properly stored at the moment. And then the grass stuff, I mean, we could possibly store the grass stuff around here, but it's one of those things where everything is very cramped. It is one of those yards where things are very cramped, and we need to sort of make things a little bit easier for working around, especially when it's just me. I don't want to be jumping in and out of tractors, attaching and detaching all the time, so that I have to move things about to get at bits. So yeah, I'll be looking at the ways in which we can make the yard more efficient, and that's always been the watchword around here for me. Ever since I decided that it was just going to be me on this farm, and we couldn't afford to have a farm hand. We've always gone. I've always gone for making it as much as we possibly can, making it as efficient as possible. Alright, there we go, and down. Oh, no. Don't want to go down that. Want to go down here. There we go. That's perfect. And yeah, we are going to have to do. We're going to have to drive up to that top corner and just come and polish this off down this side. Oh, don't want to get stuck in that mud. You sink into that and you're not coming out. Well, not anytime soon anyway. I guess that isn't very solid along that riverbank, especially for something of this weight. You end up very much just sort of praying that you're not going to go in. Get this edge here. Like so. Yeah, there we go. And we are out of seeds, so we need to go and fill this up. Back into our shed. Not bad, really. We got around that field rather nicely. I'll take this into our shed here. And this is it. We can. I've considered upgrading to the next level of this. This is a 3-meter seeder. The D9 3000 Super. There's the D9 4000 goes a little bit wider. We wouldn't be able to reverse it into this shed like we are with this one, because we just you know, it's that much wider. Close it up and away we go. Yeah, that only just fits through that door. This tractor is a little bit overkill for this. But I wouldn't like to. I wouldn't like to try and maneuver anything much wider than this around. I think we'd run into a lot of issues. Right, onto here, turn her on, and away we go. There we are. Oh, no, not quite got that right. Down and away we go. Yeah, we need to. We're getting lift. We're getting too much lift at the edge there. I'm gonna need to do it separately, a little more carefully. Right, let's. And away we go. Yeah, if you catch too much of the edge, then it can lift the seeder like that, and that means we don't get any seeds in the ground, which is not good. Whoa, 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 whoa. I think I managed to put one of my... Yeah, I did. I'll have to fix that later. Lift that up. And we're on to the longer part of the field again now. There we go. And yeah, we'll just run, we'll head up to the top end of the field and we'll just run the seeder down this, the bit closest to the river. That will just create a bit of a buffer there, makes it easier for us. It means we actually have got seed in that line there, which is massively what we need to do. And we've got the same issue here, so we're going to have to start and come round this bottom corner because we're too close to the brick wall in order for us to actually get right up to the edge. And even turning round, we're not straight until we're a little bit into the field. We could reverse up to the edge there, but it's if we've got to do that headland anyway, there's not a lot of point. And yeah, you can see why this is one of our biggest fields. It really does. It's a little bit misleading sometimes. Right, look at the shingle at the bottom of that river. And that's why we don't have any mud at the corner here. It's because it cuts into this this bit as the river turns. It's actually why this bit needed to be dredged, because otherwise it silts up here in this narrow bit, and then you get the flooding down here. Especially if we get a surge. When we get a surge of water down here, it could be catastrophic for the farms. So we want to avoid that. Especially as our shed there sits slightly below the level of the flooding. So sort of there is a... That's the other reason why I don't want to build down to here. If it does flood, this part of the land will absorb the water as much as it can. Is slightly higher than the yard. So this actually acts as a bit of a water break, and if it gets over that, then we have a problem. If we don't have the land here instead of the yard, then we can't drain the water away properly, and it means that it comes over the top more easily. So yeah, we would be worse off if that happened. But we'll see what the winter brings. Right, and down we go. Absolutely beautiful. Just gonna finish this section off. And that will be our winter wheat done, and our new rotation fully, or the beginning of the implementation of our new rotation. It's actually not that big a difference. We just added the barley in at a different point in the in the rotation to make it work better. And hopefully with things when they need to be harvested, we're okay. With the canola coming after the winter wheat, that means we'll always be able to do the canola. And with the wheat coming after the sunflowers, yeah, again, sunflowers tends to be harvested nice and early, and so it means that we are able to do things like get this winter wheat in now, which is massively important. Just a little bit further to go, and then we can get these headlands done. And as I said, that will then be this field finished. We'll have to then put canola seeds in here, because we've got those to plant. And yeah, we've got to plant them. Well, we've got to plant them with enough time for them to germinate and grow healthily before winter comes, because otherwise we're going to find ourselves not much point in planting them. Round. Ooh, keep out of the river. Right. This is the last one I want to do before I head up to the top of the field, and we come down that side. Right, there we go. Oh, it's flowing fast through that bridge. You can really hear it, even over the sound of the tractor. That's get a feeling for how much water is rushing under that bridge. Right, head up to the top of the field, and we'll come down this side here. To finish this headland off. And then it finishes us in quite a nice place doing it this way. Right, there we go. And away we go. And yeah, so the angle that I've considered doing this field at a few times is sort of the angle that we have here. So where we're on now, it is pretty much the longest edge we have on this field, and would make for a very interesting time when we were seeding it and harvesting it, and would mean that we get longer cuts. But I think it would end up being, on reflection, I think it'd end up being really awkward to work. And then you'd have to change the angle for this bottom part of the field here. So I think you'd essentially have to split it into two fields to do it properly, which we have done in the past. I mean, our first year, we did split this field into two fields. Second year, I decided to change it to move on from that, which is why we've done it as a single field. For this harvest, and we'll do it as a single field for the next. And this brings us out to here and finished. There we go. So turn our seeder off, and yeah, that is that field done. So that's where I'm going to leave us today for this vlog. All that remains is for me to say thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. And for all the latest videos from the farm, please subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.